Okay guys, here we are with the brand new 50cc size Corsair from ESM models. This one comes from VQ Warbirds. I got the plane out, looks great. It's really neat, got a 3-piece wing. It's got the center section wings all fiberglass. It turned out to be a really nice kit. What I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to show the install of the cockpit kit. This one's got plenty of room. It'll fit a full-size 6-scale pilot. This plane turned out, if you figure up the wingspan, at what, 5.7 scale, so it's right at 6 scale. I am able to get the pilot totally seated in there, everything at the right position. All right, I'm gonna get everything together. You can see I partly got the cockpit already installed, but I'm gonna get everything together and we'll go through installing the cockpit for you. Okay, when you get to fuselage out, you find the cockpit deck is flat across here, and it also has a small dash with a couple of gauges on it. Anyway, the first thing you need to do, this plane was made for a cockpit because it doesn't have any former coming across the top here. The formers that come down the sides are shaped just like this. I barely had to remove anything off the edges to get the cockpit to install. I did have to cut loose the guides or the push rod guides or the pull guides, so I'll have to move them down just a little bit. But that's not a real big problem for somebody wanting to install a cockpit. Anyway, you can see here the blue tape represents a 1/4 inch wide. That's from the edge cutting out. You need to change it from what I've done to make it 3/8 inches wide. Just mark in 3/8 inches and cut that out. Okay, and then we're removing the dash and cutting it, and take a drum and just clean this out until you leave about a 1/16 of an inch of the overhang coming down. As far as the back here, it comes down and it's not a sharp, crisp corner. It's got a slight curve. You need to cut across here and then remove any of the fiberglass that starts to rotate out and make it nice and flat. All right. What I've done is I've created a back of the fuselage or back of the cockpit that'll slide right in place. You just have to cut it out, and so I've got the headrest built in. And before I get done, it'll probably have the seat some seat supports on the back. But anyway, that you cut it out and it fits right in. On it, you're going to put it up and trace along the back line and cut this out, leaving no flashing. On the bottom half, below the cutout to allow the fuselage sides, you're going to leave these sides all the way around. Just cut the flashing that comes up. And what this will do, this will glue into the place into the back of the cockpit itself. So it'll fit right in there. All right, I'm going to go get the main part of the cockpit, and I'll be back. Okay, here we have the main body of the cockpit, and as always, it's going to fold up into a one-piece thing. Anyway, what we're going to do is you're going to cut all the flashing off all the way around, leave all the way around the fuselage, all the way around the body of it, and up on the top, it'll come up, and then there will be a piece of flashing that comes up. We're going to cut that off until it's nice and where it's just straight. At the back, you're going to relieve the plastic that comes in here, and at the front you're going to just cut, this will come in, and you're just going to cut the flashing just cut straight back. You're just going to cut it off until it's you can see it's just square there. Okay, what you do is once you get it all folded, you're going to fold it up, and I just use that big crimping, I got a pair of pliers, and you just crimp it along here until it folds up. Alright, so we're going to cut all the flashing off, just leave a little bit around. This right here is where the headrest is going to fit in and glue in place. So like I said, we're just going to cut the piece out the back, clean this all off, all the flashing off there, and this will lock right on the sides. Okay, inside I have the panels, the square panels that are rectangular panels that come in and transition from the side to the base. All right, when you get those, they're going to look like this. They're going to be a big piece, and I've marked here where I'm cutting it off. We're going to leave any square that's coming down where it gets square. We're going to cut right along here, all the way around. We're just going to cut the angle portion off, and we'll leave this end square so we have something to glue to. And then we're going to come in here. I have control panels that glue on top. You're going to come in here 1 1/16 inch, 1 1/16 inch, and then cut this off. I made it a little bit deeper so it would be nice and square at the end. Okay, so we're going to cut both sides to 1 1/16. Now this one is going to have an oxygen tank back here, so it's shaped a little different. We'll cut 1 1/16 inch across the top, and then we're going to cut this square to where it's square, all that angled part off, and then back here at the tank, or where the tank will go, we're going to cut this flush with the bottom of the squared off part. And then we're going to leave this little tiny bit of square here so we have something to glue it to the back. Alright, I'm going to get all that cut out, and then I'll show you how I'm going to install it onto the cockpit base by itself. So I'll get that cut out and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are, the main part of the cockpit cut out, and it's ready to go. I also cut these out, and you see it's nice and straight there. I've cut everything off the edges to where they're straight, and even got a flat surface here to glue down to the bottom. On the cockpit floor itself, you need to come out 1 1/16 from where the taper comes, where the angle comes up and it stops, 1 1/16. And do that front and back, and then draw a straight line. Now this tapers, so you can't measure one spot and just draw a straight line. It won't be correct. Okay, then I come up here 5.5 inches and drew a line straight across. These will more or less be flush with the back of the fuselage. Something I did supply in the kit is I pulled a piece of right angle. What we're going to do is cut a piece. This way longer than this. But anyway, you're going to cut a piece and you're going to install it inside this piece here, so it'll give you something to glue to this side. You can see I've already installed one here. I used to say use the Model Masters glue, but I found out the Testors is cheaper and it works faster. It's a little bit more of a gel, and it appears to work a little bit faster for me. But anyway, you can see that I have got that glued in, and it's already set up, and this has been less than 10 minutes. Anyway, once we have this all marked, the 90-degree piece put in here, all you're going to do is come in here and you're going to glue this. And the reason I have these pieces here, well, I'll tell you one thing you have to do it first, is you need to go ahead, and there's 2 control panels. You need to cut those out. They're made long to the inside. You need to cut them the 1 1/16 inches wide, and cut those off where they will fit. They will eventually you're going to cut the sides off where they're straight. But I'll leave this flashing down here so it fits up against the side. It comes in there and gives you a good solid place to go up against. Now you don't want to glue this on until I'm going to show you where to put all the toggle switches and everything. But what I want to do is hold this in place to make sure when you glue this up that you have room for it to go underneath these stringers. So what it'll do, you'll come in here and just make sure that when you glue that on, that you have enough room for that to fit in. Or